shirt simply isn't loud enough. No amount of cultural liberal Marxism can change that. Rolling Stone article talking about Kanye West's new private school, which requires parents of students to sign NDAs. That's like the most basic. Kanye West started his own private school. That is surprising. But parents and students signing NDAs, not surprising. Now, do you want to know why? Do you want to know why that's not surprising? Los Angeles has some of the most psychotic fucking schools on the planet. I used to go to one of them, like not myself, but I used to go play basketball with some of the fucking parents, okay? It's called Merman. That was one of the schools, okay? Los Angeles has some of the most psychotic private school systems in the entire country. Unsurprising because, of course, it's the liberal safe haven California, right? Like, you have strong unions to a certain degree within the, was it UTLA, I think, right? But then also you have underfunded public education, charter schools, but most importantly, a fuckload of private schools. Now, Merman is a, I think, elementary K through 12, maybe. But I'll tell you this much, okay? First of all, if you want to get into Merman, you have to do an IQ test. Oh, K through Ed, a private K through Ed co-ed school in Los Angeles, okay? If you want to be able to get into Merman, you have to do an IQ test. They make little babies do IQ tests, bro. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking nuts. Okay? It's not even it's the most psychotic thing you've ever heard, right? Like, you go, you take an IQ test to make sure your fucking child is like, I guess, high IQ enough. Okay? Then on top of that, once you get into that, then you get into then you're fast tracked into the best best private education in the high school. You have, Harvard Westlake. You have like a bunch of other private schools out here that are like some of the best private schools in the nation, high school wise. Okay. And then after that, you go directly, like everyone in your fucking class is literally going to the top schools, like the top institutions. So, that's how it works. What's tuition? I don't fucking know, dude. What? Marat says 40 grand a year. And this is K through 8, my man. K through motherfucking 8.
Racism. This one's to end racism. This one's to end.
That's the average price of a decent international school. I would rather send my kid to public over private schools, keeps them grounded. I mean, listen, I'm a product of the public and private school education. I'll tell you that much. And I think that both have been very helpful. Same with Marat. I think absolutely, I do think that public school is really good. And look, we had affluent parents at the time who were not exactly caked up now, but back then they were, right? And they still chose to send us to public education. Public education in Turkey is drastically different than public education in America. Okay? In some ways it's better, and in some ways it's much, much worse. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. And obviously public schools would be better if private schools did not exist, or charter schools especially did not exist, and like all of those funds were actually adequately being spent on the public school system. But send your kid to a school with 50 kids a classroom, 20-year-old textbooks. No, I know. Here's the point. Though. You send your kids to public school not because they're going to get the best education. You send your kids to public school because I think that going to public school is incredibly important for everyone to basically be around. Oh, so bad. What is this GIF? What the fuck did you just do to me, man? Oh my God. I'm sorry. My ADHD is going crazy right now. Dude, look at this. Dude, look at this. Look. It starts off so good. Womp womp. Just so bad. Anyway, what people need to understand about you is that one's class background does not necessarily dictate one's class allegiance. No, certainly, but I'm also trying to explain to people that because of the diversity of people's backgrounds that you get in public school, basically the short and sweet of it is you're going to be around. You're putting your when you go to public school, you're putting your child through the education system that's not going to be as good as private school, certainly, but at least they're going to have a better perspective on the fucking world. And the reason for that is because they're going to be around a lot of poor people, a lot of poor kids, like really fucking poor kids. Okay? Now, America has already kind of segregated that system as well because public education is directly tied to your zip code. They don't let you bus your children to other districts and shit, which is kind of fucked up in and of itself, right? But even then, even if you are in a less affluent neighborhood, even if you're in a more affluent neighborhood, even if you go to a good public school, your child is still going to be around like other children from different economic backgrounds is certainly an important thing. It is one of the major reasons as to why I believe the things I believe in. When I grew up, I was a profoundly fortunate kid, and my dad kind of fucked up and sent me to public school, and look where it took me, okay? It literally, it creates perspective that you normally would never have. It's true. It created perspectives within me that I normally probably would not have had if I grew up in a sheltered way. I saw incredible amounts of poverty, and like it's not even like from a tourist perspective. You know what I mean? Because you are like, especially in Turkey, it wasn't like a tourist thing because these were my friends. Right? And then I went back to private school for high school, and that was a shock in a different way because I fucking kind of despised a lot of the kids in private school as well. Like I went to public school from 3rd grade to 8th grade, got my ass beat and shit, you know what I mean? Developed a way different perspective on class, on income inequality, on wealth inequality, all of that. But then I went back to Tedankara Koleji, which is like a private institution, partially because I couldn't get into a good public school. In Turkey, public high schools are the best. Because we have public high schools are better than private high schools in Turkey. Because there's like crazy public funding for it. But I couldn't get into a good public school because like I did the test because there's a placement test that you need to take. İşte abi o. Ha, öyle mi? Bilmiyorum. Okay, when I was growing up, it was like that. And I fucked up on the exam because it's a rigorous thing. It's a rigorous process. You go from 6th grade onward, you're going to Dersane. So you can, which is like extra school, so you can get better at fucking school. So you can get better at the SATs that you need to take, basically the aptitude test that you need to take to get placed into a good public high school. It's fair. It's the most fair system you can have, but it's still pretty fucking crazy. It's really, really, really awful. Anyway, and I didn't do that well. I didn't do well enough to get placed into a good public school. So, of course, I had to go to a private school, which you still need to fucking place to even get into a good private school.